So last night, Mike Tyson fought, what's his name? Jake Paul. Boxing match. Battle of the generations. Is Mike Tyson one of the greatest boxers that's ever lived? 58, 60-year-old man battles a 28, 30-year-old dude. Very compelling conversation, right? Who's going to win this one? The young person who has only been boxing for a number of years and is not even I would not rank anywhere in the top 100 of professional boxers versus potentially one of the greatest boxers of all time, who's just an old man now. Who has the advantage? It's a very interesting question. And a lot of people thought Mike Tyson, with his years of experience and his inbred just skills and abilities, was going to destroy Jake. And a lot of people thought Jake was going to beat him because Mike Tyson's just an old man and age is a real thing and Father Time never loses. And who's going to win? Well, last night it ended up being a real turd of a fight. I don't know if you watched it, but what ended up happening was pretty predictable in the sense that Mike Tyson, he went through his entire life as a boxer being primarily what's called a fast twitch or type 2 muscle group fighter. What that means is that he had a predominance of type 2 muscle fibers, which are your fast twitch, very, very quick. Type 1 muscle fibers are more for long endurance, cardio-based activities, right? And so the marathon runners, Eliud Kipchoge, type 1 fibers versus Mike Tyson, who in particular had a preponderance of type 2. And if you watched him, most of his fights only went 45 seconds because that dude would just get in there and destroy people really quickly. But if the fights ever went long, he would start to struggle. He didn't really have the gas tank because the fast twitch muscles can give you a ton of power in a short outburst, but they don't sustain you over a long period of time. So knowing that, fast twitch muscles are one of the first things that go as you age. And so Mike Tyson, who has been relying on fast twitch muscles his entire career, they're not there anymore. And he doesn't have the type 1 muscles that he needs to be able to go deep into later rounds. Okay, so here's what ends up happening. He comes out and he looks pretty good for a little bit, and he quickly gasses out. He starts standing still, not moving his feet, and he's getting beat up, and it's a lame fight. Nobody enjoys it. It's really stupid to watch. Don't watch it. Now, the thing that stood out to me is when you get tired as a fighter, your feet stop moving, you start standing still, you become a target. What this made me think of, though, is how we can apply this concept to business. And it's really interesting, this concept of appropriate spacing in distancing ourselves from our opponent. For just context, by the way, guys, I fought martial arts and mixed martial arts my entire life. I've been training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Taekwondo, boxing, Muay Thai. So I know a thing or two about fighting. And the thing that I think gets lost on a lot of amateur fighters is the ability to control spacing. Conor McGregor is a perfect example of this. You watch him in his fights, he has this uncanny ability to always be at the perfect right distance from his opponent. Not too close where his punches lack power, but not too far that he's overreaching. He's always at the perfect distance so that his punches, his kicks, land with the maximum amount of force. And this all revolves around your timing, your rhythm, and your footwork. And these are things that are really easy to lose sight of if you're an amateur and you don't understand what you're seeing, right? Because good spacing doesn't draw attention as much as a fast punch or anything like that. But when it's executed correctly, you see these fights where Conor McGregor just puts people down effortlessly. It's what the hell just happened? That guy just fell down. He barely touched him. What happened there? It's perfect distancing coupled with perfect timing. Now, the way to think about this in your business is that there is a perfect distance, a perfect spacing between you and your business that if you can maintain will give you the most impact, the most power. The problem most entrepreneurs make is they stand too close to the business. They stand too close to their opponent. And now their punches, their kicks are getting jammed up. They can't fully extend through it. They're too close, right? They're in the weeds. They're doing the work. You've heard this before. Conversely, if you pull too far out of the business and you abdicate controls and responsibility, you can't reach it anymore. You can't reach the opponent. This might as well just be you running away from the opponent, right? And so there's a distance, not being too close and not being too far, where you're appropriately spaced for your punches and kicks to land with maximum effect. And so the question that we have to ask is, what is that distance? At what point am I standing too close? At which point am I standing too far away? And that is a constant juggling act. That's where your footwork, that's where your rhythm has to come in. Because sometimes you need to stand a little bit closer. Sometimes you need to stand a little bit further. But by playing and understanding, like, where am I in relation to my business right now? Am I working effectively with and through my team, who is the ones on the ground level doing the work? Or am I standing too far away and I have no visibility into what it is that they're doing? So a good rule of thumb, and I heard this recently from Alex Hermosi, I thought it was a really good way to frame this, is that you always want to know where the bodies are buried in each department and with each person. You want to know, where are the bodies buried? If you're standing too far away and you can't articulate, hey, what are the problems that the sales team are facing right now? If you can't answer that question, you're standing too far away. Then again, if you're too close and like you know all the different problems and you're in the one that's intricately involved in helping people solve it and actually putting into place the system. So now you're standing too close. But if you look at a department, say that's the finance, that's the operations, that's the marketing function, the sales function, and you don't know where the dead bodies are buried, you're standing too far away. So I wanted to give you guys this mental model because I think it's a really interesting one as we're, in this fight with our business or fight with the market, however you want to frame it, and asking like, what is that perfect distance and how do I maintain that so that I can be maximally effective in my role as the founder, as the entrepreneur, the CEO, whatever the role is that you give yourself. But take that, run with it, go knock out the competition. I'll see you guys in the next episode.